Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you guys my Cardfight Vanguard Rivière Bermuda Triangle deck profile for July 2017. With the new release of Prismatic Divas, this deck has actually gotten some pretty interesting support. I think each Bermuda deck got a little bump to help them with all the new release for Shushu and whatnot. And Rivière was one of those decks that got a new stride and new grade 1 and 2 support. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. To start off, the Stride Zone, I run 4 Legendary Idol Rivière. It's pretty much a power card like Rivière herself, with a Counterblast 1, choose a face down card with the same name as this unit from your G Zone, turn it face up, choose up to the same number of your rear guards, up to the number of cards in your soul with Rivière in their card name, they get plus 5,000 till the end of the turn. And then if you have 3 or more face-up cards in your G-Zone, you draw a card, and this unit gets plus 10 in a critical. So it's pretty much a bumped-up version of the original Rivière's effect, and you basically need to do well building up the ride chain, which is very easy with the new support in the deck as well. And she has a pretty easy ride chain because, in my opinion, the ride chain where you check the top 7 after you ride in the proper grade 1 is the most consistent ride chain. Other than that, like I said, plenty of ways to build up, and the plus 10k with an extra critical just really is good, powerful strength to go for. And then most of the Rivière Stride Zone is just basic support, so the 4 Olivia for that multiple attack strike power, 1 Loris, and 1 Angie, and 1 Alprina for your single strides. Angie's kind of a big counterblast, so I don't go into her as often. Loris, this isn't really Harmony based, so she's just there for some options. And Alprina, sometimes I go into her, but most of the time, since Rivière isn't a GB2, I go into her first, and then the second time for the more powered up Vanguard attack, and then finish off with Olivia. And then also just wanted the GB8, just for those late game stalls. She can come in pretty clutch since she doesn't have a counterblast to rely on either. And then for the G Guardians, I run 1 Sandy with every card in your hand. For every 2, she has a power plus. 1 Palfi, she has plus 5 if the number of cards in your hand is 3 or more. Leona is the bounce guard G Guardian, and Nasha if you have the same unit in your hand, which with Trois, the Legion, is very easy to grab another grade 3 to have for her cost. And that's it for the Stride Zone. When I move on to the main deck, I run 4 Top Idol Rivière. I would say main card, but she's not really the one you want to ride on to the Vanguard first, because you do run Rising Star Trois, which is your Legion that goes with Rivière, but Rivière has the Counterblast 2, discard a Rivière, plus 5 to 3 of your rear guards effect, searchable and usable with Trois on your Vanguard since they both coincide with one another, and 4 of the Trois as well. She is a Legion of CB3 with a restanding Vanguard. It's incredibly powerful if you don't go into the stride. You have this to rely on. It's pretty counterblast heavy. Most of the time you want to rely on just Trois and not use Rivière, because that's 5 counterblasts in total, which you do have ways to countercharge in the deck, but that's just in my opinion as well, just to stick with that. And you can also Legion back triggers, which, a lot of the Bermuda decks don't have too many powerful Legions. I'd say Trois is probably the strongest Legion that Bermuda Triangle have, just for the restanding power and the fact solely that it is a Legion for trigger recycling. And for grade 2s, I run 4 Super Idol Rivière, your grade 2 of the ride chain. It has the plus 1,000 effect if you have Mermaid Idol Rivière in the soul, and when a card named Top Idol Rivière rides this unit, if you have a card named Mermaid Idol Rivière in your soul, draw a card. Now, most of the time you won't get that effect off because, like I said, you want to ride Trois, but Trois' effect is when this card rides Super Idol Rivière, you search your deck for Top Idol Rivière. So it's basically the next best thing since you get a search, preferably over a draw. Because with the draw, you could draw Top Idol Rivière, or you could draw a trigger, something you don't want to draw. This is just good setup because it's also stride fodder. If you go like this, grab the 3, and then you have a card to stride with. Also powering up the Legion as well. And also run 4 of the new Limpid Chorus Maylene. She is definitely what the deck needed. It is a plus 2,000 if you have when this attacks a Vanguard, if you have a Super Idol Rivière on your Vanguard or in your soul, which is the grade 2. Very, very good for the fact that if it hits, you counter charge one, soul charge one. You can help build up your consistent ride chain. Like, let's say you missed the grade 1 ride chain and you only have the 2. Basically, keep the 0 or something like that. Help build Rivières in the soul with this card and unflip damage. And also 3, Applause Flower Palchi. She is a Vanguard and Rearguard. Choose one of your Rearguards with Rivière in its card name, return it to your hand. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, reveal 4 cards from the top of your deck. Put up to 1 card with Rivière in its card name from among them into your hand. Put the rest in your drop zone. If you put a card in your hand, choose a card from your hand, put it into your soul. Soul build-up, searching. This card is probably the second best. This card, just because counterblasting, like I said, is so heavy in this deck, is why I run this card at 4 and this one at 3. But it's great because you have basically the perfect grade 2 lineup for this deck to run, since it's giving you all you need for the perfect Rivière Legion ride chain combo. And for grade 1s, 4 Mermaid Idol Rivière. This one is basically when Super Idol Rivière rides onto this card, you draw a card, so you don't miss out too much for the ride chain with that draw power, and just another plus 1,000 if you ride over Bermuda Triangle Cadet with this card. And 4 Image Master Kukri, the most preferred perfect guard in my opinion, since it is a countercharge perfect guard. Like I said, counterblasting very heavily in this deck. You'll need these to survive. And also 4 Hardy Dancer Courage. Basically, it's a choose a Bermuda Cadet Rivière from your rear, put it into your soul. Search your deck for up to 1 Mermaid Idol Rivière or Super Idol Rivière, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If a card was put in your hand is Mermaid Idol Rivière, you can ride as stand. This card is perfect for getting your ride chain back to normal. If you don't have the 1 or 2, you basically will be guaranteed to grab what you need using this card. Just because you put the starter, which would normally most of the time go to the rear guard with this card, and other than that, it's, like I said, most of the time just for those grade 1 ride inconsistencies, and she completely fixes that by giving you both grade 1 and 2 options. And the fact that you can ride it means you won't fall behind either. And the reason that the grade 3 isn't as necessary is because you're perfectly fine with whichever grade 3 you do end up riding, because Rivière, okay, you got your ride chain off. Trois, okay, you have, your Legion set up for later. There's no bad grade 3 ride chain with this deck. And also 2 Lunchmaker Ica. Choose a card from your hand, put it in your soul when it's placed on rear. If you have a grade 2 or greater Vanguard or Rivière in its card name, you can pay the cost, draw a card. It's a 2 of just for the fact that it's not a guaranteed consistency with the ride chain. Courage just helps a lot better with that, but she still can help with that soul build-up for Rivière cards, which is why I do like her. And then for grade 0s, I run 1 Bermuda Triangle Cadet Rivière. This is your starter, guarantee must have to ride this or else, you're not going to have any consistency with the deck. And then for triggers, I run 8 crit, so 4 of the new Tojo's Beat RT, 4 Morning Impact Lips, and then for the drop triggers, 4 Artful Ale Fundy, just for another good, use for soul build-up, and this is the kind of card where, draw triggers are always nice in Legion, just because you can reshuffle back the crits you need, rely on draws for those damage checks and hand consistency, and not have to worry about taking out too much from your critical lineup. And then lastly, to finish off, 4 Sweet Allure Rico. The effect heals are in another deck. If you wanted to run those just to, coincide with the 1G guard, you can do that as well. It's all up to you, honestly, based on what you want to do. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, Kira Qualia out.